Well, everyone, welcome back to the hillside for a very exciting evening harvest. This is my first ever successful broccoli growing season. Now, I have tried several times and I have failed, okay? Hence this being my first time with some success. So, what factors attributed to my success this year at the Hillside Garden? Well, let's start with number one. We had an unusually cool spring. Okay, it was tons of rain, temperatures 15 to 20 degrees below average. That absolutely helped. Brassicas and broccoli and cauliflower especially love the cooler temps. I believe that directly contributed to the successful growing of the broccoli this year. As I tried the last couple years and then went from winter to summer overnight. So that really put a damper on some things. Another thing, if you can kind of see where I've planted the broccoli, kind of zoom out a little bit. There's the pallet garden fence or wall, however you want to call it that way, which actually shades it from the evening sun. So it gets direct morning sun, but the evening sun it is protected from. So I believe that actually is number two, helping it to absolutely stay in the right growing conditions to be able to produce these massive broccoli heads I'm about to harvest this evening. Number three, I've done a very good job of mulching and keeping the soil very, 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 very moist and fertile. This is no synthetic chemicals. There are no pesticides other than some BT, which is the Bacillus thuringiensis, the organic control of the cabbage worm. As you can kind of tell, some of these leaves here have some slug damage, and that's okay when it comes to your broccoli or your cauliflower, in my opinion, even though the leaves are edible. And it's kind of a shame to have the slugs contributing to their just the overall shabbiness of some of these leaves. Like, don't look so good at all, but you can see right here, especially this leaf here, the big chunk has been missing from that. But for the most part, we're after the broccoli, right? So we're not growing collards, we're not growing kale, we're not growing something else that we're actually focusing on harvesting the leaves. So broccoli itself, if you keep on it with the BT spray, you will have a very successful crop, as we are about to show you right here. Now look right here, kind of zooming in. So my finger right there, these are already side shoots and side buds right there already forming. So once the central head, the broccoli, is harvested, you don't need to kill the entire plant. It's not a one and done kind of thing. You don't just pull the whole plant up. If you just harvest the head of the broccoli right about in this area right here, these side shoots will get all the energy and you're gonna get a second flush of broccoli to harvest and enjoy as well. So let me show you some of the cauliflower, the developments I have here next door to the broccoli plants. Okay, so my cauliflower plant, I did have it wrapped up, but as you can see, the leaves have kind of pulled away from where I had it wrapped up. So the curd, or the head of the cauliflower, is actually turning a little bit yellow, which is normal. That's gonna happen if it does get exposed to the sunlight. It's gonna taste just fine, but as far as if you want that, that pure white cauliflower you get at the store that has been perfectly blanched, you're going to need to do a better job than I did about covering these leaves up. I had tried to kind of fold the leaves over to make a natural screening without any kind of rubber band or any kind of string tie, and it actually failed because the leaves pushed back, and it that's what the plant wants to naturally do. It's opening up, and these eventually will become a flowering head, which will, like I said, it'll turn into flowers. The object is to pollinate, to create seeds, drop seeds, and then that's the end of the life cycle. So we're just trying to manipulate that when we grow the cauliflower by keeping it covered up. But that's that's okay. It's still going to be edible and be just fine for personal consumption. And right here, this other cauliflower head is forming nicely. I need to get a jump on that and actually get these heads wrapped up to keep them from turning yellow by being exposed to the sun. So let's go ahead and harvest this broccoli and show you how I'm going to do that. All right, so very simply, you take your scissors or your shears or whatever you may be using. You're going to kind of try to get into this area of the plant. It may take one or two cuts to kind of slice through, as it not all the way through right there. Let me go ahead and keep cutting. Sorry about the shakiness of the camera, as this is more difficult to do with one hand than I imagined, but can get this out of the way. There you go. Check that head of broccoli out. Now that is amazing. And like I mentioned, right down here, these side shoots are now going to get all of the attention. They're getting all the sunlight, all the nutrients, and you're going to get an awesome flush of another set of broccoli before you go ahead and pull the entire plant up. Now, one thing I can show you about the broccoli that I did harvest right here, kind of up close, you see where some of these miniature florets, and this is a broccoli head, these are just basically flowers that are ready to bloom that have not got to that stage. You're trying to harvest them at the perfect ripeness. You can kind of see some of these right here are just now starting to open, or they want to open. That's when you need to harvest your broccoli at the absolute peak of freshness and ripeness. If it gets more than this, the heads are kind of starting to spread apart. They're losing their compactness, and that's when they're going to start going to flower. And then they're still totally edible, but you're not going to get the characteristic broccoli like you're used to getting in the store, or for the frozen or even the fresh product at that. So I'm going to go ahead and finish harvesting what I have here in the garden today. I thank you guys for joining me. Hope you liked this video and enjoyed what you have seen. If you have some comments or questions about growing broccoli in your own home garden, please feel free to drop them below. I do appreciate it, and I will talk to you guys and see you next time at the next video here on the Hillside. All right, guys, until then, you guys take care. Bye-bye.